The idea that RPG Book Club would have a special Halloween episode fills you with determination. Welcome to a special spooky Halloween edition of RPG Book Club.
Woo!
Surprise, you get 2 episodes this week, but actually, knowing me, it'll be 3 because I haven't edited last week's, so you'll probably get 3 of them by Saturday.
It's so spooky.
I am Sam's Undertale Almond.
I am the Great Papyrus.
I forgot to decide what character I am, so I'm just Michael S. I'm Michael S. Pumpkins. My middle name is S, by the way, so it works.
Yeah, your middle name is Spiffle.
Yeah.
Wait, what's oh my god, I always say I'm Michael Spiffle Webbin. I never even realized that my middle name actually is the letter S. That's really funny. What's the David S. Pumpkins music? It's like oh, how can I not remember it? Whatever, it's my favorite video in the world. Whatever.
Well. All right, so today for our spooky Halloween edition, we were playing a sounded so great for what little I knew about Undertale spooky Halloween game, and then it became had 0 horror tropes as soon as you're done with Sans and Papyrus, but whatever. So today we're playing Undertale, which
it's
is Eli's.
It's spooky because we have to deal with our emotions.
the true, or to quote Twin Peaks, the ultimate fear is the possibility that love is not enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is pretty accurate for this game.
Yeah, and this is probably it's really close if this is the most popular game we've done so far, or if Persona 3 is the most popular. They're both kind of super popular but cult classic. Super popular in a cult classic way type thing, and so it's hard to tell, but yeah, this is probably the biggest hype, which separates us from this separates us from our sister podcasts, because both OG Plus and Square Roots do games, they both say the game has to be 10 years old or older, and we're like, nah, fuck nah, we got 2014, we got this.
Yeah, exactly.
But we tried to keep this a secret from everybody, but we didn't say what game we were playing, and then we talked about Papyrus 2 weeks ago. And then in the Discord, we constantly be like, when we play Undertale, I mean, if we ever play Undertale.
What's Undertale?
It's a surprise.
I've never heard of that game before. Don't look at my icon. It's not Papyrus. What are you talking about? You're drunk. Go home.
But before we begin,
Sam's Overwatch? What's that?
But before we begin, since I'll be asking how your week was tomorrow when we record our normal episode, what are your guys' plans for Halloween?
Mine is to dress up like Steven Universe, hand out candy out of a cheeseburger backpack, then go inside and get drunk.
That's good.
Nice,
That's good.
nice.
What about you, Sam?
Me, Summer, and Scarlett, because now that we're a family, we of course have to have family costumes every single year. Last year we were Greg Universe, Amethyst, and Steven Universe. Scarlett was
it
baby
was
Steven.
Adorable. It was super cute.
And this year we're going as Velma, Shaggy, and Scooby, and Scarlett's going to be in a little Scooby costume, and it's going to be amazing. I've already got my Shaggy costume, and I want to work on the voice, and Summer's like, you don't need the voice, it's just trick-or-treating. And I'm like, yeah, but I got to, so I don't have it yet.
I got to, man.
Yeah, I don't even have one to attempt, and I don't know if I want to attempt one on the podcast and keep it forever. I don't know if that'd be comedy gold or would just be really annoying. So I'm not going to do it. What about you, Spiffle?
So I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I did have a costume, a really cute couple's costume in mind that I can't do anymore. I won't share what it is because it's so fucking good that I'm going to use it again in the future, probably. Although that would maybe be mean. Maybe I can just never do it now. Whatever. I won't share what it is. So I don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing because I'm in a new state. I don't know what people get up to out here. But I'm sending you the 2 costumes that I might be. They're both from the film Mulholland Drive, and which I watched for the 3rd time recently.
I need to see
And
that. God damn
It's
it.
a great movie. And when the first one appeared on screen, Adam Kesher gets covered in paint, and I was like, that's my Halloween costume. 'Cause all you need is a cheap suit that you don't mind covering in paint, and then some pink paint, maybe the kind of paint that'll wash off, and then some weird designer glasses. That's all you need. It's an easy costume.
That's all
or
you need.
I can I send it to the host only channel. Or you be this guy called the Cowboy. Because it's a David Lynch film, and sometimes there's just weird characters dressed like cowboys.
There's just a cowboy for whatever reason.
So I'm gonna do either of those. And I forget. Y'all are both on the anti-candy corn train, right?
Oh, fuck
Yes.
candy corn.
What's wrong with
Candy
you
corn
people?
is literally just plastic.
Everybody.
It's plastic and disappointment.
I've been learning the last week or so. I've been learning who my real friends are, and it turns out the answer is I don't have any.
Oh, now I feel bad. No, every year I try candy corn thinking, maybe my tastes have changed. Maybe this year will be different. Nope. It's still awful.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like it's not much of a taste thing. It's 100% the consistency.
Yeah.
And the
You don't
taste
like
isn't
weird,
anything
mushy
to write.
wax. I feel like it shouldn't be
No.
edible, but it is for some reason.
no.
No.
I'm very,
And
like
if it was like bomb ass taste and it was
Okay, but are you
like
eating
that,
like Brock's
I could
candy
maybe
corn
do
or
it.
like cheap ass candy corn? Because
any candy corn.
There's
Any
a big
candy corn.
difference, though. Is the
I've
thing.
typically only had Brock's and it's still not good.
Sigh.
Yeah, I just don't like
Anywho.
candy corn. Oh, I
Anywho.
realized I thought of another Halloween costume that I might try if I can get the materials together, which it shouldn't be that hard, but I need a
Mhm.
jacket for it. But it's Masky from Marble Hornets. I don't think either of you know
Ooh.
who that is.
I don't know what that is,
know
but
who
I believe
Maskey
that you
is.
know what that is.
I'm convincing Summer to watch Marble Hornets
Yes.
this
It's so good.
Octoberween.
It's so good. You should watch it as well, Spiffle. If you
What if it was actually a Marvel show about a 4-piece brass quartet called Marvel Cornets, and they all play. It's a very strange quartet.
And then Slenderman shows up.
The operator, technically.
The operator, yes.
But no, it's marble, like a granite countertop, marble Hornets.
I
Yeah.
thought it was
Yeah.
Marvel, and then they had some fucking new show called Hornets.
No.
Like Marvel's the Iron Fist.
No,
Marvel's
but like-
Jessica Jones. That's what I
But
thought.
yeah,
But yeah,
I've got the hair and the sideburns to pull off the masky look. I just
Yeah, I
need
think
the
you could
jacket.
definitely do
Hornets
it.
would sound awful.
and since Spiffle has not seen it, we should definitely tell him that Maskey is 100% Bob from Bob's Burgers.
Yes!
That's the secret. That's the secret. You'll be wondering the whole time. That's who it is.
That's
Bob.
it. Yep.
Is it actually voiced by my boy HJB?
No.
No, it's literally like it's the Marble Hornets. If you are unaware, is kind of what made Slender Man really super popular because it was just like a creepypasta before this.
Oh, okay. I didn't
And-
realize that was called.
and so it's
that
just like-
creepypasta's Marvel Hornets.
It's just like 7
It's like 9
dudes.
Yeah, 9.5
Yeah, it's like-
hours of YouTube videos.
Yeah, it's just 7 dudes on
Actually, I've
YouTube
watched
making
some of that,
videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just forgot what it's called. My Howling creepypasta of choice will always be the Been Drowned saga.
Yeah,
Ben
it's
Drowned
super
is good too. Yeah.
So goddamn
I wish
good.
it wasn't so multimedia so that I could show
You
it to
just watch-
Summer
You
without.
can just watch the videos. The videos
Watch
are
the
good enough.
Nightmind. Watch the Nightmind explanation of it too.
Okay.
He goes into
I
a
think
lot
just
of detail.
I think
there.
just like the OG videos of the actual game. I think that is a big that's enough. I think it's good.
Yeah, I might read the first one to her, like a dramatic
yeah.
reading, and just to set it up and then play it.
Yeah.
Because it's super good, but it's like about 3 hours of just staring at your computer screen reading in between watching these videos.
Yeah.
And so
One other thing I recommend, real quick, another creepy video game, YouTube creepypasta dealie, Pets Cop.
Pets Cop.
Pets Cop, PETSCOP. Yes, look it up. It's really good.
Is it like Axe
I thought you were going
Cop,
to say
instead of
Everyman
Axe, it's
Hybrid, which is
Pets?
also good.
Yeah, Everyman Hybrid also good. But yeah, no, Pets Cop is it takes place entirely in a video game, sort of, kind of
Ooh.
Ben Drownedy, but it's all on YouTube as far as I'm aware. I don't think there's any supplemental material, so I can send you guys a link to that later on.
For sure. All right, so this game is kind of long, so
Let's talk
without
about
further ado,
Undertale. Woo!
so I just want to say I think 10 minutes is the quickest we've ever gotten through an intro.
Seriously.
So, yeah, let's get started. So, when you first load up the game, you get a Sailor Moon Another Story-esque opening video to tell you the backstory. And long ago, two races ruled the earth, humans and monsters. They fought, humans won, and they locked the monsters underground. Many years later, legends say that those who climb the mountain never return, and we see some boy trip and fall into the big-ass hole. When you click New Game, it says to name the fallen human, and right out the gate, when on that screen, the music already fucking slams. Like you don't even start the game and you're already like, okay, I know what I'm in for. This music is going to be good.
It's very, also just to be noted, very similar in a way that is obviously very clearly on purpose to the title screen music of Mother 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, okay, I see what's happening here.
This game is like, what if Earthbound, but also Homestuck and also spooky? And there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, Final Fantasy VI for that an hour-long portion of the game.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, that's great. Yeah. All right.
It's so good. But,
so you named your person Bash. Eli, what did you name your person?
I just called mine Eli.
Nice. I named mine Jamie. I thought of going with my go-to Dragon Quest female named Maddie, and I actually forgot that the hero of this game is intentionally designed to be gender ambiguous. I forgot that, so I was like, I guess I'll name him some boy name. And then 3 seconds after picking the name, I was like, wait a second, I could have. Oh well.
Oh well.
Well, that's because last time
Jamie's a girl name too.
Oh, that's true. This is my second time playing the game, so I thought of it as I thought of the character as being a boy because last time I played the game it was a boy, right? So that's canon for me. Also, every time they say Jamie, all I could think of is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Jamie.
I will say also,
mad Jamie.
I will say also that I've played this game like a dozen times at least. I have so many hours put into Undertale on Steam. It's like a 10-hour game. So, and I have like 150 in it.
Yeah.
So I just went with the same name that I chose for my first playthrough.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't use the spoilers name to get hard mode to play it hard mode for the podcast.
I have actually done that before.
Spoilers name hard mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should have done that because I'm fucking good at this game. I first time I played the game, I don't think I died.
I died frequently.
Yeah.
So
it's difficult. Wait till you play Genocide.
Well,
Oops,
I'm really good at
spoilers.
shmups is the thing. So
okay, yeah. See, I'm not.
I'm not good at them. I just play a lot of them. But that gives me a leg up over people who don't play a lot of them.
I don't think I've ever played a shmup for more than 10 minutes before playing Undertale.
I had the high score on the Raiden machine at my Dairy Queen in my town growing up, but that was like midway through level 2. So was it like a true high score?
Everybody else really sucked.
I think the only people that played it were me and Oscar, and then kids who just saw there's an arcade game, Mom, give me a quarter. So
my skill level with shmups is I've beaten both Ikaruga and Radiant Silvergun using not infinite continues.
What the fuck?
Wow.
Jeez. I wouldn't even...
You can beat a shmup without infinite continues.
Like, maybe like 20 continues, but still. That's still better than 50
I got a Nintendo Online membership recently, and I played a little bit of Gradius, and I couldn't even get to one of the high scores. Like, I couldn't even get the lowest high score. Yeah, I was like, you know what? I think I get the gist of this game, and I'll never play it again now.
Oh, no, you gotta do it. Gradius is so good, dude. Oh my god. And you don't even know.
Terrible.
Was it Gradius that had the task bot at
Yes.
the thing the other day? Yeah, okay.
It was bitchin'.
It was bonkers. But okay, so we name our human, and there's one path to take. And we take that path, and we see this Flowey. He's a flower, and he's so happy.
So sweet and cute, and he just wants to be your friend.
Yeah, I took a screenshot because he's like down here in Monster World, we all like our economy is based on love or something like that. He's like, you do want some love, don't you? And I took that screenshot and I put a caption. I was like, more than you know, Flowey.
Oh.
Seems very relatable.
Yeah, it is.
That's one reason why it's popular, but it's also good, of course.
Yeah.
He says he's going to give me love with some friendliness pellets, but turns out those are bullets, and he's trying to kill me.
Now, if you're
Flowey's
me
a
and
jerk.
you've already played the game, he's like, here, get some love pellets, and he shoots them at you, and I fucking dodge them, and he's like, excuse me,
I told
do you not want these love pellets? And you dodge him a few times, and he's like, okay, look here, you little shit.
Yeah.
Clearly you've already played this fucking game.
Yeah. You apparently know what's up and you're trying to fuck with me.
Yeah,
And I've had about enough of it, and then he just surrounds you with them, and they slowly come in toward you.
Yeah,
That's
so
so
this
great.
game tutorializes itself better than almost any video game. It's insane. The opening part of the game goes on, you could say a little long for tutorial, but it's also very important for plot reasons, and God, it's good. Playing through it the second time around, this game hits. It really
Speaking
hits.
of-
It's hitting me now more than it used to, actually.
Speaking of tutorial, we're saved by Toriel.
Yay!
Wait, I never
are you-
thought about that.
You're just now getting it.
I especially because it ends in IEL, and I've read a lot of like angel-based manga and shit, so I was like, that's Toriel.
Yeah.
That is not Toriel.
I've always
but
said
now,
Toriel.
Oh my God.
And now it makes a lot of fucking
tutorial.
sense.
Nice.
So
that's
her
good
name
shit.
is Toriel, the caretaker of the ruins, and she is a goat lady, for lack of a better descriptor.
She is our
And
new mom.
She's everyone's new mom, yeah.
Yeah, so she shows up and blows up Flowey with a fireball and takes us through the ruins, which are full of bitchin' music. And easy puzzles that she doesn't let us do. She like almost lets us do one, and she is like, all right, pay close attention to this room because it has a solution to the puzzle. And so I see it, I'm like, okay, I'll just have to do that in the next room. You get there, she's like, no, never mind, I'll just walk you through it myself.
Yeah.
And it's super
So
good.
here's the thing. Oh no, go on. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, like, it's great. Like,
Yeah.
that she's literally holding your hand through the tutorial.
Yeah. I really want to bring something up here because this game, I played the game in maybe 2016, 2015, and I really enjoyed it, like, a lot. I had a few issues with it, but like I overall I thought it was an excellent game. But this time around, it really hit me way more than it did the first time I played it. And what really, I think maybe it's because, like, I don't know, things have gotten harder in the last 2 years. Life is, the world is dark.
Mhm.
I'm obviously
And
going
it
through a
fills you
lot
with
of personal,
determination.
I'm going through a lot of personal stuff that's hard, but also, like, the world is hard. We're all being, my favorite joke I like to say now is we're all being crushed under the under the heel of capitalism, but not in a sexy way. And things are getting worse and worse. Fucking this fucking Janus ruling for the court, you know, like demolishing public sector unions, and then of course Kavanaugh and Trump, and the fucking new climate change report that came out. Things are just tough, and my life is tough. And what struck me about this game is, and I think that's why people like it, I just didn't pick up on it 2 years ago. It's just like the gentleness of it is like revolutionary. It is not even like, we're not even at, like, I get the point of this game, just FYI at the end, is it's kind of like it you could see it as a paltry, like, killing is bad. Like, killing, you know, hey, video games do lots of killing. What if killing was bad, actually? Which, like, that is the point of the game, kind of. But that's, but it's not the plot of the game that makes the impression. Again, it's the tone. Like, this woman is so soft and sensitive, and you're a small child, and she doesn't even want you to have to do the puzzles, you know? And everyone is nice to each other. All the monsters are just mad. they're just misunderstood. All you gotta do is tell the monsters that they're pretty and they don't want to fight you anymore. And and the music is so sensitive, and just the warmth and the sensitivity and the softness of the game is just is completely turns the history of video games on their head, but also like society, because this is not how the world works in real life. This is not. It is a vision of this world where softness and niceness can actually live, and it was, again, I'm not out of the fucking tutorial, and I was getting like shook a few days ago fucking playing this game. So anyway, I just want to bring up how strong an impression this game makes.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Unless you decide to kill everyone.
Of course, which I would never do. That's the thing. Because I've heard that's like, in order to 100% the game, you have to do a run. One of your playthroughs has to be like, you kill everyone. And I'm like, I could never.
Yeah.
Because the first person that you have to kill is Toriel herself.
Is Toriel.
Yep.
Because she's your mom, and she's disappointed in you.
It's so hard to play that run. Like, after playing through Pacifist multiple times, and I'm like, I love these characters. I cannot hurt them. And then I did, and I'm like, no, I'm the worst person alive. Because I wanted to put it on YouTube.
I accidentally started a genocide side route, and I felt so bad I reloaded my save. I did it because I didn't understand the game yet,
right?
And and so because that's what they want you to do. They want you to
figure
not
it out,
understand and have to, because all of the endings are based on certain things you do, and they want you to, your first one, to kind of be a jumble and not have somebody telling you, hey, be a true pacifist and don't kill anything. Like I technically had a non-pure playthrough, but it's fine.
So just since we're almost there anyway, one of my actual issues with this game is the opening battle, the first real battle with Toriel, where most people will kill Toriel on accident. The game basically cheats. The game, unless you're trying very hard, sort of cheats and tricks you into killing her. So, but I understand now, because the game really does make more sense if you kill Toriel.
You are actually, if you're talking about how Spare looks, there is a frog who says at one point you might run into someone whose Spare doesn't light up.
No, it's not that. It's that I've talked to multiple people, and I'm almost positive that if you try to lower Toriel's health by hitting her once or twice, the game will cheat and give you a critical hit so that you kill her.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
Fucking cheat, right?
Okay.
Because one of the enemies says, if
plus the Spare, both work together.
Yeah, one of the enemies says, if an enemy won't let you spare them, basically try hitting them a little bit to weaken them, like Pokemon style.
Oh,
So if you try that on Toriel, you hit her once and her health goes down by 20%. You hit her twice, health goes down by another 20%. Hit her a third time, you get a crit and she dies.
Okay,
and
I see
that's what I mean by the game.
Yeah,
cheats.
that's exactly what happened to me as well.
The game does cheat because it is trying to railroad you along the story that it's trying to tell. And now that I've played a little bit of a non-killing Toriel route, I actually do see kind of the point of it. I go back and forth. I'm a formalist. I like it when games stick to their rules and don't lie to you. But on the other hand, I also like telling the story you're trying to tell and manipulating the player's emotions in a good way. So, take it or leave it.
Well, I will talk about my first experiences with killing Toriel when we get to that point.
Oh, sure,
We have a little more to get to.
Yeah, we're not quite there.
Yeah. Yeah. But so she doesn't let you do any puzzles, and until one time she's like, I want you to do something dangerous. I want you to walk to the end of this room, and it's an empty room, and there's nothing in it.
But there's some intense fucking music that goes on during this walk.
And there's also a very conspicuous lamppost, and I did what I think a lot of people do, which is I click on the lamppost and you hear Toriel whispering behind the lamppost.
And so she says that it was a test because she doesn't want you wandering off, so she's going to leave you in a much more dangerous room while she goes off to do something. So of course, being an RPG protagonist, I go and explore. And
you sit there for an insanely long time. She comes back.
Yes, she doesn't come back. but she will call you on her phone multiple times. Like, it's like every 10 minutes if you just sit in that room.
God.
She will call you.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
I figured during this game that there was a thing like that, but I wasn't going to wait for it to happen.
Yeah, no, me neither.
I waited a little bit, but yeah.
So you get through your basic puzzles. A good chunk of this game is doing puzzles, and we won't talk about pretty much any of them, except unless some of them are hard, but I don't even remember any of them that would be hard enough to talk about.
They're not. They're pretty easy.
Yeah.
The hard part is definitely the boss fights.
The puzzles in this game are almost like the battles in Space Funeral. They're not there to be a game. They're there just for the emotional effect of playing.
Yeah, the puzzles have more of a plot meaning in this game than they do a gameplay meaning.
Yeah, they're just there because part of the game's feel. It makes you spend a little bit more time in the areas, and it's just part of the story that they're trying to tell. Is that sometimes you have to push blocks around.
Yeah. Like, literally, here in a second, when we meet Sans and Papyrus, that's their day job, is making puzzles.
Well, in one of the puzzles, there's a sentient rock that you have to push.
God, I love that part. Yeah. So, actually, I want to talk about that part. So, in this very first dungeon, there's a part where there's 3 blocks, and all 3 rocks need to be pushed onto the switch. Not a hard puzzle. There's even a path showing, like, push the block. You push the top one. Okay, cool. You push the middle one. But at this point, I'm thinking, really, game? I get it. It's block pushing. Why do I have to do it 3 times, not just 1? You're just padding this out. But then I go to the 3rd block, and I walk into it, and instead of moving, there's a text box, and the rock's like, "Hey man, don't push me." and then you try talking to him again, and he's like, "Oh, you want me to move?" And he moves like an inch. And you talk to him again, and he's like, "Oh, you want me to move more?" And he moves up, where he wants to move right. And then he goes,
Come on!
Oh, I went the wrong way? Oh, sorry, man. So then he goes over to the right, and he goes on
specified.
the switch.
Yeah.
And then after he steps on the switch, the door opens, and you walk towards the door, and as you're about to get to the door, he then leaves the switch, and the door closes again. And you go back and talk to him again, and he's like, "Oh, you want me to stay on the switch? Okay." And, like, it's so fucking funny. Like,
it's hilarious.
Insanely good. And just, it's funny that neither of y'all have played Mother 3, because this game is... obviously graphically, but even that humor is like straight out of Mother 3. Mother 3, early on, there's a part where, you know how games have gating, like contrived reasons why you can't go places?
Mm-hmm.
Early on in the game, in Mother 3, like right at the beginning of the game, there's a part where you can go like east or west or south. And if you try to go south, there's a dialogue box, and it's like, you try to walk that way, but there's a line of ants walking across the path. You don't want to step on the ants, so you better not go that way.
That's amazing.
So Earthbound has stuff like that too. I am planning to play. Yeah. Fucking pencils. To get a pencil eraser. I at some point I'm gonna play Mother 3 for YouTube, unless, well, if we're gonna play it for the podcast someday, then I'll hold off, of course.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Mother 3 will be the one that I like, because I've bounced off of Earthbound like 3 times now, and so
as I've said though, Sam, Earthbound only makes sense if you've played Dragon Quest. So now that you've played a little bit of Dragon Quest, play like 3 more Dragon Quest games, and then you'll be ready for Earthbound. But the reason why I feel like the Mother 3 influence, I don't just see in the jokiness, but also the sensitivity. Like, the joke isn't just, oh, there's a contrived gating, but it's like, oh, you're a nice boy, you don't want to step on the ants. And that is all over this game. It's like they took that idea and made an entire game out of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Which is so good. So after a couple puzzles, there's a ghost in the way, and his name is Napstabluke, and he's great. And you talk to him, and he's like, "I'm not moving," and so you have to. No, you talk to him, and he goes Z Z Z Z Z Z Z, and then the narrator is like, he's just saying Z over and over again.
Pretend to be asleep.
He's asleep.
He's a depressed ghost, it turns out.
Yeah, and so you get into the fight, and you cheer him up, because Toriel at the beginning was like, "Don't fight anything; it's too dangerous. Just wait around long enough, and I'll come and save you from the fights." And so you get the idea that like fighting is not the point. So it's setting you up to, like, it's not like, as you mentioned earlier, the Toriel fight itself is unfair, but the game is kind of like, the Toriel fight is a little unfair because the beginning makes you want to spare everybody.
Yeah.
So so I cheer up the depressed ghost, and he decides to be my friend, and he lets me
He
through.
turns his tears into a hat.
Yeah, so the bullets.
Yeah.
Oh, so we should explain the battle system. The reason we talked about shmups so much at the beginning is that attacking in this game is simple. You hit attack, and there's a very simple Paper Mario-esque little mini game where you hit the button at the right time to do the most damage. But when the enemies attack, they literally attack using bullet hell shmup bullet patterns, and you have to dodge their attacks. And an absolutely insane amount of work went into this. Every single enemy has multiple attacks, and they're all like, it's not even just bullets, it's like images. Like, if an enemy has a sword, then a little pixel sword will come at you and slash at you. Or if an enemy is a sad ghost, his tears will come off of his character portrait and then fall down into the actual battle area, and then you dodge them. Some of them are so stupendously elaborate. Like, it's phenomenal. But also it's fun for someone like me because it's always intense because you have to be on your guard all the time. But also, if you're like me, like, it's the perfect balance of, like, first time I ever fought. Most people think one of the hardest parts of the game is the fight with what's her name, the knight
Undine.
Yeah, is that how it is?
I've always said Undyne.
Yeah. Anyway,
I only say Undine because in Tales of Symphonia you have a summon called Undine, and she yells out, "Come, Undine!"
I see.
So, okay.
That's
come Undine, come Undine.
You're my
Anyway,
butterfly, sugar, baby.
So a lot of people say that the hardest part of the game is the fight with Undyne, and I beat that on my first try because I'm really good at shmups, but I was still, like, heart pounding the entire battle, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a great balance.
Oh, yeah.
But like, as many times as I died to Papyrus and Undyne and Asgore and all of these big bosses, I also died to, like, random mobs frequently.
Because this time around, like, one or two random mobs actually got me at.
Because you have to be on your toes at all times, and if you haven't healed or been to a shop to get more healing items, and in comes this one that just is kind of tricky to dodge,
Those
you
fucking
can just
veggie
die.
guys where eat your greens. Oh God, where's the green one?
That one's super easy by itself, but if it's with another one combined, oof, that's rough.
Yeah, those guys suck.
Yeah, but so we make friends with the ghost, and we get through some more puzzles, and then we find this all black tree, and Toriel comes from behind it, is like, "Shit, you're here. You're not where I left you, but it's okay. I want to show you something," and takes her into her house, and it's, like, adorable.
It's so cute.
It is like it's like my grandmother's house if my grandmother wasn't racist.
And the music was really nice. I love that.
And she makes you a butterscotch and cinnamon pie. And it's adorable.
Oh, yeah, she asks you, we forgot to mention, she asks you at the beginning of the game if you prefer butterscotch or cinnamon, and you choose one of those. I always choose butterscotch because I prefer that over cinnamon. And she says, but do you also not like cinnamon, or are you okay with it? Are do you have any food allergies? And you're like, and she's like, okay, cool. And then you show up, and she's like, I made a butterscotch and cinnamon pie.
It's so cute, yeah.
It's adorable.
One thing that I saw in her house is there's some toys in one of the room, and you go to talk to him or investigate him, and goes, "Look at these cool toys. They don't interest you at all." I'm like, that's just depression.
Yeah, my life.
So she gives you the pie, and she gives you a room and tells you to go to sleep. When you wake up, your pie is just sitting in the middle of the room, but Toriel's nowhere to be seen, so you go and explore, and she's in front of the fire because, of course, she is. She's an adorable little grandmother. Yeah. And all of her, she asks you all these questions, and instead of yes or no, it's yes or how do I leave the ruins?
How to leave ruins, yeah. You just keep pressing her, right?
Yeah.
And so she's like, you can't go home. This is your home now. You just have to leave with me. And you're like, no, but how do I leave the ruins? And she's like, well, I'm going to go and blow up the exit, so you can't do it. So you follow her because that means she's going to the exit. And she then says that humans always come and they always die. And she doesn't want that to happen anymore. So she wants you to stay with her. And it's super duper sweet. But I leave anyways. So she's she tells you to stop following her, and you don't listen. So she decides to stop me herself, and we fight. And in my notes here, I talk about how I accidentally killed her my first time because the game was not fair.
So how quickly after killing her did you end up reloading?
So that was. So I think I stopped for the day, and then I stopped working at Blizzard, and Undertale doesn't do cloud storage, and I had to start over again.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Because the thing is, the game actually...
I was going to talk about...
Sorry, you talk about it.
Go ahead.
That's why I was asking.
No, that's... because that was my first experience with Undertale, was I killed Toriel, and I went, oh God, what have I done? And I talked to a friend of mine who had already played through Undertale, and I was like, I don't know how to get through Toriel without killing her. And my friend was like, just spam spare. Just keep using the spare button. It doesn't light up, but that's fine. Just keep using it. And I was like, okay, so I restarted my game. And I went through and I did the thing and I got through Toriel and went to the next room and Flowey's there. Flowey is always there, regardless of you kill her or spare her. If you have already killed her, restarted your game, and then go meet Flowey after sparing her, he goes, I know what you fucking did. You just restarted your game. You felt bad about killing Toriel, and you went back and you tried to undo it. I know what the fuck you are. And
that's super cool, because I didn't get any of Flowey reads your save file until spoilers the end when he reads your save file.
Yeah, what happened is the game I think it put, I'm pretty sure it put shit in your computer's registry.
So
it's
what
secretly,
I think it has is
even if you delete your save file, it still knows.
Yeah, I think it has a permanent save file of some sort, if it's registry or not.
Exactly.
But I think it has.
There are actually ways to completely erase it, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the it's actually in the Steam folder.
Okay.
It's a little complicated to get to. Actually, it might not be directly in the Steam folder, but I've had to do it before because of doing the YouTube Undertale play.
Right. Hey guys, I just got a very apropos notification on my phone. It's, you know how Nextdoor is the worst. But it's funny sometimes because it's mostly just people being racist. I still have it because the push notes are funny. I just got one push note. Next door, dogs. That's it. I just said dogs.
Okay. Wow. Well, that's what we're
Very
getting to soon.
For this game. Yeah.
So yeah, I had to start all the way over, so I didn't get to see Flowey breaking the rules. But,
it was terrifying when I first saw it.
When they first announced that this game was coming to consoles, especially Sony consoles, my first thought was, how are they going to do that? You know?
Yeah.
Because Sony wouldn't allow that. But apparently they did. I think Toby Fox may have had to talk with people at Sony, how can I make sure this feature still works? And it does. Yeah. It does. Or it should, at least.
Yes, it does.
That's so
I've played it. I played it all the way through on my PlayStation as well. And I'm going to be buying it again for the Switch. This will be the fourth time I have purchased Undertale just for myself. I've also purchased it for at least 2 other people.
Nice.
I fucking love this game. But yeah, there's parts where we'll get to where the game does weird stuff, and it still does that stuff on the PlayStation.
That's cool.
So I killed Undertale the first time I played the game 2 years ago. Killed Undertale, killed Toriel. I didn't kill her this time because I couldn't go through that. What I wasn't expecting is that I wasn't expecting not killing her to be almost as emotionally intense as killing her. It goes on a long time, but the thing is, you're hurting her emotionally.
Yeah.
Because as the fight goes on and you keep not fighting her, she gets worn down emotionally, and she realizes that she can't continue fighting you. But that's hard because she doesn't want to not fight you, because she doesn't want to give up on her goal of protecting you from leaving.
Mm-hmm.
So if she gets you down to 1 health, she'll also stop attacking you.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah, so again,
it's hilarious if she accidentally kills you, too.
So basically, it's you don't kill her physically, but you're killing her emotionally by not killing her physically, and it was really, really rough, and I wasn't expecting that. Again, this game was really hitting me.
Oh, one other quick thing about killing her, restarting, and then sparing her. If you talk to her during that fight, you can say, it says, you think about telling Toriel that you killed her before, but that's creepy.
Oh god.
Wild. This game is good.
Cool.
Yeah.
This game fucking slams.
Yeah.
All right. So, after you beat her, Flowey's back. He says that pacifism won't work because if the person just wants to kill you, they will. And he says something about wanting to be the ruler of this world.
He says, "I'm the prince of this world's future."
Yeah, and then it goes Undertale, and I was like,
"We have a title screen."
I was like, "Is the game fucking over?" Like,
no, that's the intro.
Like, did I do something wrong? Like, or is it one of the things where you like the true pacifist ending is like the short, like, it's like. So survival kids, the best ending is you find this radio on like the first day that you're there, and you can keep spamming it. And if you spam it like 50 times, you'll hear a helicopter, and you'll put down SOS blocks, and they'll save you on like day 7. But then you don't get to play the game. And so I thought that might be the thing here is like Eli was tricking me into not playing the game by getting the like best ending. But then no, it was the full game was after that. But I definitely thought it was over.
I love how that's your first thought.
But yeah, then in a classic throwback, one of the skeletons from Eternal Cineas shows up.
That's true.
And
human,
he has
grab my hand.
Yeah, he has a whoopee cushion in his hand, and it starts there's been like meta comedy of this game so far, but this is where like comedy comes in, and it's amazing.
Oh yeah.
So just I want to give a shout out real quick to someone who's not listening to this podcast, but if he ever does, my buddy Alex Jaffe. Well, buddy, I mean we're internet acquaintances, but he's a good guy. He played he played Sans Undertale. He played Undertale and was like, "Oh my god, I am literally Sans from Sans Undertale." So his internet avatar has been Sans ever since. And here's the thing. He really is like in every single way. This person, he's funny, he's cheesy, he's got the same sort of body type. You love him a whole lot because he's a really, really sweet person. Alex Jaffe is the human version of Sans Undertale. So shout out to him for being great.
Nice.
Awesome. So right off the bat, we meet Sans and also Papyrus, and Sans speaks in Comic Sans, and Papyrus speaks in Papyrus.
It's great.
And it's kind of amazing.
Sans also speaks in nothing but lowercase, and Papyrus is all uppercase.
Yep. Because Sans is chill, and Papyrus is the opposite of chill.
So, and at this point in my notes, I wrote, okay, this is the most Homestuck game I've ever played. Eli, seriously, read Homestuck.
It is hilarious that someone whose favorite game is Undertale has not played Homestuck. I have not read Homestuck. Yeah. It's hilarious. But yeah. Anyway,
there's I said, the Venn diagram between Homestuck fans and Undertale players and Undertale fans is almost a circle.
Yeah.
With
actually,
Eli standing on the outside
honestly,
of the
if you've played Undertale, do you need to read Homestuck? Is the bigger question.
Like, I'm
or are you just like
pressed up against the wall of the Undertale circle, like holding in my belly so I don't accidentally make it into the
You're
Homestuck
like,
circle?
No, not the Homestuck circle. No, stay away. I understand.
Yeah. So there's a lamp on the side of the street that Sans calls a conveniently shaped lamp, and you go and you walk behind it, and it's the exact size and shape of your character.
Yeah, so when you're behind it, you just completely disappear. It's hilarious.
You just disappear.
Yep.
So Papyrus comes in, and he's mad that Sans is a slacker and hasn't done anything to catch a human, which Papyrus really wants to do. Sans says that he's done a skeleton of work.
And then he literally bugs in the camera, and there's
bone.
It's great.
He turns to the camera, and there's like a drum riff, and
it's like, it's so good. So Papyrus tells Sans to keep on working, and then he leaves, and Sans tells me to follow Papyrus to meet him, and he promises that Papyrus won't hurt me.
By the way, so, Sans turning to the camera and like breaking that fourth wall is foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. I never thought about that.
Yes. So I go to follow Papyrus, and I find Papyrus and Sans talking, and Papyrus fangirls. I don't remember Does he fangirl about me being a human, or?
Oh yeah, he's
about
super excited
you?
about you being a human. Like they have this, they have this funny
I
little.
couldn't remember if that was here or later.
They have this funny little thing where Papyrus and Sans are talking, and Papyrus says, "Sans, what's that? Is that a human?" And Sans turns around, and there's a rock in front of me, and Sans is like, "I think that's a rock." Papyrus is like,
and the funny thing is, the funny thing is he's right. That actually is what Papyrus was looking at. He actually was looking at the rock.
Yeah. And then Papyrus looks at the character and goes, "Is that a human?"
That's so good.
Yeah, he's hilarious. But Papyrus is 100% my favorite character in this game.
Papyrus is fantastic.
So he says not to follow him, or he'll capture you and send you to the capital. So we follow him because RPGs are about doing the exact things that people tell you not to do. Yep. And so then you fight a bunch more of a variety of random mobs now. Like before, you pretty much had like 3 or 4 of them, and then they would shuffle like how they came together. But now you get like, you almost don't see repeats for like the rest of the game pretty much. Like there's just always new mobs to fight. Mm-hmm. And one of them is a doggo, and you save the doggo by petting it.
His name is literally Doggo.
When you pet him, he like
doggo
freaks out.
Pet. He like freaks the fuck out.
Oh my god, a big pet! So oh my god, yes, woof, woof, woof.
Yeah. So you keep following along, and Papyrus says that he has puzzles for you to complete. One of which says "Warning: Dog Marriage," which I just thought was great.
Yeah. So Toby Fox is just really into dogs.
Like in like 40 different points of this game, dogs come up independent of each other.
Like dogs existing is just a recurring gag. But right at the beginning, it's like in this game you have, in classical RPG style, different worlds. You have like swamp level, fire level, ice level. Mm-hmm. This is literally dog level. Like every unique encounter is dog related, and there keep being jokes about dogs. But then throughout the game, there'll be so many times where like maybe like the punchline of a joke is that like maybe something really dramatic is happening, and then like all of a sudden a dog appears, or something like that. Like it's just a thing in this game. He just really likes dogs.
My favorite one is here in a second. My favorite use of the dog. So after a couple puzzles, some dogs come to stop you, and they smell you, and the smell makes them want to eliminate me. But instead, I'm really nice to them. And in that fight, you roll around on the dirt to make yourself smell like a dog, and then they smell you, and they're like, "Oh, it's okay, you're just a dog." So then you pet them, and then they say, "Wait, dogs can pet other dogs? A whole new world has opened up for us."
Yeah, you're like blowing their mind by the idea that a dog can pet a dog.
So you continue through some puzzles, and Papyrus tries too hard. And there's a puzzle here that has a callback later. This is one of the best things in the world, and I didn't realize it would be great here, so I didn't. Didn't write it down in my notes. But I'm from the future, so I know that it's important.
I'm so excited.
So Papyrus takes you through a whole bunch of like shitty puzzles, and then Sans takes you through some shittier puzzles. So Papyrus like takes his gloves off, and he's like, "All right, this is a super hard puzzle.
You should have done Junior Jumble."
So he's like, "Okay, so this next puzzle is going to randomly generate a path, and if you walk on the blue ones, it's water and it'll bounce you back, and you walk on a green one, you'll have to fight a monster. Red ones will do damage, yellow ones are safe, purple, whatever." He gives you a bunch of...
It's like humorously complicated.
Yeah. If you ask him for clarification, he tells you he starts getting it mixed up, and then like if you ask him for clarification again, he's like, "Fucking figure it out yourself. I'm leaving."
Which, like, during the explanation, at that point, I'm like, "Oh, this is way too complicated. This is obviously going to be a joke."
Yeah.
But, like, me, the, like, puzzle doofus that, like, has... Like, the first game I bought for my Switch after Zelda was Picross-esque. Mm-hmm. Because I love fucking hard as shit,
I love Picross
obtuse
games.
Yeah.
That's great.
And so I was like, all right, paying attention, like, not taking notes, but like mentally taking notes on how to do it and all of that stuff. So then he clicks the randomize button, and it's a straight path of the free to walk, no problem. It's just the random seed that he got made it super easy.
well, and more importantly, it's the fucking, like, from a few years back. It's like from a few years back, like the gay rights symbol. Like,
Oh, dope.
yeah,
Oh.
that's why that's important, and that's why every single gamer turned this game off and started yelling about SJWs. Like the red
pretty
and
much.
the pink and the red flag. Everyone had
Yeah,
that back
you're
in
right,
back
you're
in
right.
2014 or 2015 when I mean, obviously gay rights stuff has been going on for a long time, but like specifically in 2013 and 2014, that was like the LGBT solidarity thing. Everyone was putting it on their fucking Facebook.
Yeah.
I just had completely forgotten about it.
That's what that is, and again, I think that's why
that's what got the gamer bros yelling.
Yeah,
okay.
they're like, fucking SJWs, they're putting their gay agenda in my video game.
Yep.
And it is very blatant, and the funny thing is that's the only part in the game where they're that, like, blunt about making some kind of societal statement outside the context of the game. But it only does it that one time, and that's why it's so, but it's done in such a funny way that's also part of the joke. It's just like, oh, by the way, gay people are good. Okay, bye.
And so you walk through it, and Papyrus is just like, I give up. And so then you get to Snowden, your first like proper town, and everyone's like, oh, those skeletons, they just moved in and asserted themselves as like the leaders. It's whatever.
They're super chill.
I know what you said we weren't going to be sharing dialogue stuff, but I only have a few screenshots from this whole damn game, so I want to share them. There's a really funny part that it's a joke the first time I play the game, but then the second time I play the game, the joke is it actually makes sense. You talk to this bear, and he's like, oh yeah, we don't have like elections or anything here, but if there's a problem, a skeleton, you just tell a skeleton, and he'll tell it to a fish lady. That's politics, baby.
That's politics.
And the funny thing is, that's actually, now that I've played the game, I'm like, oh, Papyrus and Sans tell Undyne the problem. That's what I mean. But I didn't know who those characters were yet. So they're just like, oh yeah, a skeleton will tell it to a fish lady. That's politics. But then if you talk to him again, he just says politics with a period. And that's just the funniest thing. And then the second thing is, I sent this to a friend of mine. If you go to the library, there's some plot exposition.
You mean the library?
Yes, the library. And one of the plot expositions is, it says, love, hope, compassion. This is what people say monster souls are made of. But the absolute nature of the soul is unknown. After all, humans have proven their souls don't need those things to exist. And I was like, fucking shit, like,
damn.
I don't know, like, that's so on the nose, but it's also just
sad,
good.
Yeah,
and true. And I'm just like, shit. And just the whole point of this game is that the quote-unquote monsters, literally the point of this game's plot, of this game's lore, is that monsters are weak. They are weak, and humans can easily destroy them because they are strong. And what do you do when you are strong and people are weak? Should you destroy them or should you take care of them? And it's so good.
Yes.
So good.
There's a reason I fell in love with this game.
Yeah,
good, so good.
And I know there's more to it if you do the other endings, but even on a partial, well, like at this point, it's already making that statement. You know, you don't have to like get to the fucking end to get that message.
Yeah. So, so you make your way through the town, find a lot of great NPC stuff. We probably should speak, like, we try to speak none about the NPCs, and we should probably speak even less so that we can get through this whole game. We're in the first of 4 sections, but yeah, so you make your way to the outside of town, and there's a blizzard where you have to fight Papyrus, and he's really fucking hard, and I lost against him so many times that he's just like, look, do you just want to like skip the fight so you can keep playing the game? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay.
So real quick, if you do get through the fight and he gets to the point where he's going to use a special attack, a dog comes in and steals his special attack.
Yep, it's hilarious.
So he has to use a really cool regular attack.
Yeah, so I skipped over it. So one of the puzzles in the dog area, there's like this snow mound, and you go and you talk to it,
greater dog.
And a dog pops out, but then the dog is like in a mech suit, like
it's in a giant suit of armor. Yeah.
And so when you defeat it, it hops out of the armor and runs away to continue to come back and fuck up the rest of your entire playthrough.
Yes.
And it's beautiful.
Well, that's okay. That's actually a different dog. The dog that comes.
Is it?
Yes. Because you can find the greater dog in the bar. You can find it in Girlbees.
Oh, okay.
This is just a dog.
This is the
Okay.
this is the annoying dog, and the annoying dog is actually Toby Fox's fursona.
Yeah, like that's
Okay.
literally like author insert is this cute little dog that.
Okay,
fucks up
I
the
just
game.
I just thought Greater Dog was
Oh,
the
yeah,
annoying
they-
dog. I thought
they
that
look
was
very
the
similar.
origin of annoying dog.
They look very similar, but yeah. So a dog comes in, steals Papyrus's special attack. Papyrus is like, "Ugh, well, I can't use my special attack anymore. I'll just have to use a really cool regular attack. And so, like, you go through the normal, like, jumping over the bones, and then, like, a skateboard comes along holding bones that are shaped in the words "cool dude,"
It's so.
and you
God.
jump, and you just, if you hold up, you just keep going up and up and up, and the box where the battle
We have
arena
liftoff.
is. Yeah, it expands to let you jump up over it. And then another little tiny bone slowly makes its way toward you.
Yeah,
It's
it's
That's
amazing.
So great.
and again, like they're doing so much storytelling through these fucking attack patterns. Like I actually,
Mhm.
the first couple attacks in the game in the Papyrus fight are actually very like he's like I'm gonna get you, and these literally like 4 or 5 bones cross the screen at the very bottom of the screen, and you don't even have to move to avoid
Yeah.
them. And like the joke is like, oh, like Papyrus sucks. But the funny thing is, as the battle goes on, the attacks get actually difficult, and it's a very
He
long
turns
fight.
he turns your soul blue, which causes
Yeah.
you to be susceptible to gravity.
It
So
means
you
the
get
game has gravity
bumped down.
now, so now
Yeah.
you're jumping like a platformer, and yeah, and it's a really intense fight. And again, I've already played the game once, but second time through, I'm just like, this Papyrus fight is just one of the best. It's just a
Yeah,
phenomenal.
so good.
It's just a phenomenal scene of video game. Like every aspect of it is one thing that should be noted. I think is every time you fight any enemy, when they attack, they don't just do their attack pattern. They usually will have a little line of dialogue. So
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
their character portrait will either do something or say something, and then the attack happens. So a lot of these battles,
Yeah.
they might go on for 100 attacks, and that's because there's dialogue that is being gotten through.
And
which
also
is-
the music fucking slams.
Yeah, which
It
is something that
really
happens
fucking
like
slams.
twice in Mother 3. And then again, it was like, what if we made an entire game out of this concept, out of dialogue happening
Yeah.
during the battle while the battle's happening?
Yeah,
Let's go to
it's so
Waterfall.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he leaves, tells me to go to the capital and make my way through the barrier because humans have pure souls and they can do that. I having beaten this game, I think that nobody knows what the barrier even is because everyone has a different idea
Yeah,
on
He
how
doesn't
to
say
get through
pure
it.
soul. Oh yeah, he does say pure soul, but yeah, other people say powerful soul, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. One quick
And so,
note: we don't have to talk about this, but like, if you're playing this game, go back. If you go back to the town, you can go on a date with Papyrus, and
Yes.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is another one of like two of the biggest highlights of the game are the Papyrus fight and the Papyrus date. They are back to back. You absolutely must go on a fucking date with Papyrus.
Mhm.
It's actually funny because he's
Yeah.
clearly in love with you, but at the end of the date, he realizes that he actually just wants to be friends, and he thought that if he went on a date with you, maybe he would fall in love with you, but
Oh.
he actually didn't, and he just wants to be friends. But he thinks that you're deeply in love with him, which is really funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Papyrus
He's
is like, I know
sorry,
I'm
I don't
great,
feel the
but
same way about you that you feel
I'll
about
help
me.
you
And I'm
settle
like,
for
whatever,
second
man.
best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, I know I'm great, but I don't love you that way. I'm sorry, man. Anyway, now we can move on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Papyrus is my favorite.
So, yeah, I actually, the next thing I was going to talk about was the Papyrus date. One of my favorite gag in there is he raised his sink to like the top of the roof so he could fit more bones under it. But when you open it, the annoying dog takes the bone and runs
Yep.
away. And then Sans pops out and plays a sad
Womp,
trombone.
womp,
And
womp,
it's,
womp.
it's beautiful. So, yeah, so in the, so there, you also can go on a mini date with Sans to
Mhm.
Grillby's, one of your two, and he asks if you he talks about how cool Papyrus is and asks if you know about echo flowers. I thought he was talking about Flowey. He might be, but he might just be talking about the flowers in Waterfall. And he says that he thinks someone is using them to prank Papyrus. I wrote that was interesting. I don't think that's Flowey in the end, but anyway. Who knows?
Anyway, go on.
Anywho, we'll discuss the many intricacies of the ending when we get there.
Yes.
But in the next area after Snowden, there's some grass you can hide in, and Papyrus talks to Undyne about me, and Papyrus says he failed in catching me, but that I don't actually have to be captured, but Undyne is having none of it. I try to leave, and Undyne aims a spear at me, but decides against it and leaves. There's a random mob named Aaron, which is a merhorse, and I wrote in my notes, I'm gonna fuck this merhorse.
Yeah. He's got abs for days.
Yeah, he's got like a 39 pack and one of those like big muscular arms and a lot of consummate V's, and it's pretty great.
So there's two ways to beat him. You can flex at him. Every time you flex at him, it makes yours and his attack power greater, which means it's a harder battle. But if you flex like 4 or 5 times, then you can win. Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
but
he
also,
flexes off the screen.
I don't know. That's right. He accidentally flexes off the screen. The other thing you can do though is, I don't know if this works all the time, but in certain situations you can select shoo, and it's literally like you tell him to leave, he agrees.
That's at a later time after you've encountered him outside of Napstablook's house. If you've left the spooky music playing in Napstablook's house, you'll run into an Aaron and a Washua, and
nice.
The two of them will have a back and forth about how creepy the music is, and they don't like it, and they're just Washua's like, I'm out of here, I'm leaving. Mm-hmm. And Aaron's like, no, don't leave me, Wash, and he runs off, and then from then on you can just shoo Aaron away.
Okay, yeah, see, I thought maybe I just never tried shooing before until that point. But yeah, okay, so that's later.
Yeah, so you make your way through some more puzzles. There was one where you have to push these grass blocks into the water, and they'll go in a straight line until they hit something, and then they'll turn into a platform. And there was one that you get to, and there's a sign in the middle of the water. So I go to read the sign, and the sign says, "Congratulations, you failed the puzzle." Because you needed to get to the other side and not to the sign.
Yeah.
But so those were pretty hard. They were the first puzzles that made me actually stop and think. They ended up being like one of the 5 puzzles that made me stop and think. The rest of them still stay pretty easy throughout the rest of the game.
I thought about something. We forgot it in the ruins. Sorry.
What?
If you go to a room in the ruins, there's a spider bake sale. Where you can buy spider donuts and spider cider. And that is going to come up later.
Yeah, and I did buy donuts and cider, but when we get to later, you'll understand why I still suck. So the next bit is a whole lot of exposition. So you're in a glittering cave with like sparkles, which sparkles in the ceiling. I wrote series in my notes, and that tripped me up. But you're in a glittering cave with sparkles in the ceiling, and that's where monsters go to make wishes on stars because humans trapped them underground, so they can't actually make wishes on stars. And there's writing on the walls that tells the backstory. And apparently, one human soul is as strong as all of the monster souls put together. And if a monster had a human soul, it would be the worst monster to exist ever. And there's a picture of that monster that makes my character too uncomfortable to describe it. And in the next screen, you meet Undyne, and she throws spears at you until you die. So then you try again, and you're better prepared for it, and you make your way all the way to some tall grass to hide. And instead of finding me, she finds the little boy monster that you have run into a couple times.
He's so excited, and he loves Undyne.
And so, like, nobody in this game is animated except for Monster Kid tripping and falling is at like 60 frames per second, like super detailed tripping animation, and it's amazing.
He's so fucking annoying.
He has no arms. So he can't.
I love Monster Kid.
He's adorable.
But she feels that she was catching him instead of you, so she walks away. So in the next you meet Onion-san, who really wants to go to the ocean, and I just walked past him.
That's an annoying mob.
Yeah. So the murals on the wall say that a human couldn't get their soul back from a monster because monster souls die when they die, unless of course they are a boss monster.
Yes.
And then there's a really awesome piano puzzle that's like, one of the other like hardest puzzles because you have to like go 3 rooms ahead and get a clue and then come back and do it, and it's super awesome. And then you have this like dope ass Dragon Ball that you can go and grab, but you go to grab it and the fucking dog comes in and steals it, and instead you're left with dog residue in your inventory, which if you use the dog residue, it fills your inventory with either dog residue or dog salad.
Yeah.
And that's one of the like really, really slow ways to make money in this game.
If you look in your inventory before you go pick up the Dragon Ball, you will actually find the annoying dog in your inventory.
Oh, that's amazing.
Fucking stupid dog.
Also,
I love it.
the annoying dog is also stolen Toriel's cell phone, which you don't find out until, like, if you've been sitting in the ruins waiting for Toriel and she starts calling you and she's like, yeah. At one point, the phone rings and you hear Toriel yelling, "Give me back my phone, you stupid dog!"
Nice.
That's the reason you can't call Toriel from then on. And if you call Toriel while you're in that room, you'll hear a ringing in your inventory.
Oh my god.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Also, that's brilliant. That's brilliant because the normal reason why you can't call Toriel the entire game is because you killed her. But he still wanted to. But Toby Fox clearly still wanted to have that. He clearly still wanted you to not be able to call her, even if you didn't kill her.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just like, a dog stole her phone.
Yep.
Because either way, Toriel has to not be present in the game for the game's mood to make sense.
Yep.
Which is so dope. So
Are we at the sad ghost yet?
Yeah, we're almost to the sad ghost. So we make our way through the more of the waterfall area, and the little boy walks with you in the rain to tell you how scary Undyne is, leading up to the fact that there's going to be a boss fight really soon. So you make it to a pier type place, and Undyne chases you with spears that come out of the floor, and you make your way to a dead end, and she just chops the pier off, and you fall to your death, but survive, of course. And you make your way through the garbage piles of the waterway, and there's a training down there, but he's mad because you talked to his brother at the beginning of the game, so he tried to shoot me with magic, but I just kept talking to him. Wait, this is a run-on sentence, and
You make the magic shoot back at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and so he's just mad that I talked to his brother. I ran on, so the second half of this was about the new one. So he's mad that I talked to his brother at the beginning of the game, and his brother doesn't want to be a training dummy anymore. So he tries to shoot me with magic, but you just keep talking to him. And then Napstablook from way at the beginning of the game shows up and cries at him and scares the training dummy away. So you go with Napstablook to his house. And after a good meal, he asks if you want to lay on the floor and feel like garbage, which of course I do.
Yeah. Why would I not want to do that?
And so you then have like a Tim and Eric like mind explodey trip through the galaxy while just laying on the floor and feeling like garbage.
It's one of my favorite parts of the game. This ghost, he's just a sad ghost who likes to feel like garbage, and he also likes to make music. He has 3 musics he makes. One of them is just a super simple little. Well, the melody is literally do 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 do. It's just like very just cliche sounding like spooky Halloween music. And then the second one is called like spooktune_ambient.wav, and it's the same thing but like with a shit ton of reverb on it. And when you talk to him afterward, he's just like, "Oh, I love this track. It's so fucking good." And then and I'm just like, I love this guy. He's probably a SoundCloud rapper. Like he just loves to make these fucking MIDI files that are just like ambient, like fucking like chill wave tunes. And then the third one is a lot of a different kind of tune, and it's not even that good. It's just
Jingle Bells. It's Jingle Bells, but sung by ghosts.
Oh, I never. Well, I read the all the trills and runs as being like the melody of the song and not as being flourishes.
Yeah,
so I didn't notice that it was actually jingle bells.
That's amazing.
I was just like, this is a weird song that just has all these up and down chromatic runs for no reason.
He says it's holiday music.
That makes a lot of sense. I didn't think about it.
So great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so so after you leave there, you get to like the town of Waterfall, and this is when I realized I couldn't sell things. So you talk to this turtle shop person, and you try and sell him something. He's like, shops try to give away their junk. Why would we want your shit? I'm like, you know what? Selling at shops has never made sense in an RPG, but I've always just accepted it.
Yeah, if you talk to the Snowden Town vendor and you try to sell stuff to her, she's like, if I spent all my money buying old sticks and used bandages, I'd be broke.
But yeah, so you so the turtle also mentions that someone from the surface will either save all the monsters or kill them. Really setting up the duality of this game. But at the end of the next series of puzzles, Undyne corners you and says that Asgore has to get 7 human souls to break the barrier, so I should give up my soul. And she charges at me, but the little monster kid jumps out, and Undyne is like, well, I have to take you back home to your parents.
She picks him up by his face, one-handed.
and that's a recurring thing is it has already been foreshadowed many times in this game that Undyne, despite being the literal like general whose main job is to get a human, is still a really nice person. Someone even says something like, Undyne would never hurt an innocent person, So like,
but she's like this horrifying like spear night monster.
Yeah.
Up until this point, and it's great. So I use the opportunity to escape, and in the next room, the monster kid meets back up with you and says that that Undyne says that he should hate humans, so we're enemies now. But he's really bad at hating things. But he runs off, but trips and falls off the bridge right as Undyne shows up to fight me. But instead, I save Monster Kid. And he jumps in front of Undyne to save me, and then she runs off. And the boy says, since we suck at being enemies, we'll just be friends instead. And then he runs home, and it's so sweet and wholesome.
Yeah, it's really good.
But in the very next room, Undyne is ready for me, and she tells me that Asgore already has 6 souls, and she needs mine to finish off the power. So she then starts to tell me the story. But no, screw it. Why should she tell me that story when I'm about to die?
I love that
why
so
would I
much.
the plot to you? That's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're my enemy, and I'm just gonna kill you. So it doesn't matter if you remember this story or not.
And then Undyne's music starts playing, and it's super fucking good.
Yeah, this part
and in the fight, she says that I'm a fakey faker for going around and hugging people, and I then fight her anyways. And one of her like idle messages, because in the battle, like on each turn, it tells you something like an idle message from the other monster, and it's like hers was Undyne suplexes a huge boulder just because she can.
You also get a line that says "smells like sushi" now and then.
Yeah, I'm really bad at Undertale, and there were a bunch of times where they were really obviously telling me what to do, and I didn't do it. Like as before mentioned with the Toriel fight, and now with Undyne, constantly everyone's like, "There's no escape" type thing. So I didn't think that I should escape, and so I stayed on this fight for way too long.
She specifically she turns your heart green and says, "As long as you're green, you can't escape."
Yeah, and so then there's something you can do where your heart's not green, and I'm just like, whatever.
I guess I'm stuck here.
And so I fought her for way too long. But you survive for a while, then you escape, and then you have a few hallways where she's faster than you, but you get a head start, so she will catch up with you to get back in the fight, to then keep escaping again.
She gets so fucking frustrated. It's hilarious.
Yeah, so you make your way all the way through to Hotland, but since she's in armor, she gets too hot, and so she collapses.
Same.
But there's water right next to her, so you give her some water. She thanks you, and she leaves. And that's apparently a super important thing, and I don't know if it's missable or if she'll just stay there, but for True Pacifist, you have to give her that water, and I don't know if that's one of the things that you...
It is missable, yeah.
I'm glad I didn't miss it. I thought I did when I was taking note at the end, and I was like, I don't want to replay the whole goddamn game.
So that's good.
Yeah. But so you make it to Hotland, and the guards say that the elevator isn't working, so go over to the lab and do some stuff. So you get there and you meet Dr. Alphys, who's made a human killing machine, but decided to turn it off, but accidentally made an unstoppable human killing machine. But it's okay because we won't run into it, except shit, it's right here. And also it's a game show host.
Yeah. So I feel like I should mention at this point, like if the people listening who again haven't played the game are like, oh my god, it's so complicated. This game is episodic.
Yes.
Like these characters are wonderful and beautiful, but they're not. I mean, I except maybe in the True Pacifist stuff. Like the game's plot is it's what's it damn called? It's Wizard of Oz. You're going on a journey from one place to another, and along the way, you meet a lot of beautiful people. So we don't have to, you don't have to worry like, oh, there's another character. Oh, who the heck is Alphys? Who the heck is whatever? No, these are just the wonderful people that you interact with on your journey, and they might show up later. They might crop up, but like, it's not. Yeah, it is an episodic journey through a series of smaller stories.
The only one that has to show back up is Sans.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything else is optional, but Sans shows up to give you talking to at the final boss. Literally, everyone else gets left behind. But anywho. So you fight him, but it's a quiz show, and the questions are like ridiculously hard and unfair.
Yep.
And
would you smooch a ghost? And all the answers are heck yeah.
I love that part.
And so I nearly died in that fight because I got most of the answers wrong.
Alphys gives you
cute.
the answers.
She does.
If you watch her,
That's
she'll shape her hands into the answer to the question.
That's so funny.
Hilarious.
I didn't even notice that.
Sam.
Like I said, I'm really bad at the things that this game is just like flashing in bright red letters on my screen.
I didn't notice it the first time I played Undertale.
Okay.
I had to play through a second time and went, oh my god, she's showing me.
That's amazing. So after the fight, Mettaton says that he'll be back, and he blasts off. And then Alphys gives me her phone number and a new phone that has Facebook on it, or whatever the fake Facebook that they have.
Undernet,
called.
I believe.
Undernet. And so you make your way through her lab and out the other side, where she complains on Undernet that she has to call a human, and like it interrupts your walking like 3 times because you get a push notification. They're just like, ugh, I don't want. I really need to call him, but like I'm scared. Like, guys, should I even do it?
Yeah,
and stuff like
Alphys
that.
is like.
So many people hate Alphys, and the reason is because Alphys' gimmick is that she's kind of annoying, but she's also insanely fucking adorable is the thing, in addition to being annoying. So,
she's 100% me, because I'll sit there and complain about having to call. I'm incredibly anxious and terrified of making friends with people.
Yeah, she's just an anxiety baby, basically.
Yeah.
And then in the end, me and Spiffle love Alphys because we also love you.
Thanks.
This is twice now where you look at characters and you're like, wow, they're really bad. And then me and Spiffle are like, but
I was literally
Fuka's
just
our favorite.
about to say how Alphys is super annoying. And then before I said that, Eli was like, yeah, Alphys is me. And I was like, should I continue with my comment? But no, Alphys, but you love her anyway.
Yeah. So, then you get to Hotland proper, and its song is a fucking banger.
Yes, it's one of my favorite songs, along with Waterfall.
So then you make it to Mettaton's cooking show called Cooking with a Killer Robot.
In a beautiful font.
Yeah. So he says he's going to make a human soul cake, but Alphys calls in and says that she's vegan. Can he make a substitute? So instead, you have to play Galaga, where you're dodging the food to make it to the top of this super high platform for no reason.
Because, he's like, oh, it's all the way up there. How are we going to get it? Yeah.
And so then he's like, you got to get to the top in 1 minute or I'm going to eat you. And so I made it to the top and got it. And so he decides to not eat me. And we go through some more puzzles. The bouncy things, or like I had to stop and think about them, but it's really just planning your route. And then by the time the next set of bouncy things came, I just went and did it. But it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So then you end up on MTT News, which is Metaton's next attempt to kill you. He asks me to go and report on something, but everything you report on is a bomb, and then you have to defuse all of those bombs, or a bigger bomb will explode in 2 minutes. But then when you're successful, he's like, okay, it won't explode in 2 minutes; it'll explode in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So then,
so much happens here.
so much shit happens here. So then, a little bit later, I don't exactly remember the resolution there. It's not that important. But
Metaton leaves.
The whole thing is just like, I don't know. Metaton's just like, I'm gonna fuck with you for a long time, and a bunch of dumb shit happens, and it's funny.
Yeah, Alfie's always swoops in and does something to save you. Like
which becomes a little important here in a second.
Mm-hmm.
So we make our way further into Hotland, and we see Muffet is running the spider bake sale, and I was really expecting Spiffle to like laugh harder at that.
You cut out for a second when you said.
Yeah, I actually didn't hear you.
I said her name was Vriska.
Instead of Muffet. Didn't hear you say it, but I see it on your notes, and I agree with you. Yes, it's definitely Vriska.
I'm guessing that's more Homestuck.
It's more Homestuck.
Yeah.
So she's running the bake sale, but everything at this version of the bake sale costs 10,000 gold, which I had about 14, I think, at the time. And so she attacks you for not...
Was it because you sent Timmy to college?
Oh, it's because I wasted literally every...
You cut out there, Spiffle.
Oh, I said, was it because you sent Timmy to college?
Oh, no. So then you did find the Timmy village.
Yeah,
and you just missed the joke.
I had just forgotten about that part.
Okay.
It's not college.
Yeah, okay.
It's Kool-Aid.
Colleague.
Oh, yeah.
Kool-Aid. But anywho, so I had run completely out of money, so I couldn't buy anything. I also ran out of healing items because I fought Papyrus like 15 times and didn't reload a save or anything. I just kept fighting him, so I was out of money, out of healing items. So the battle was really hard, and I was stuck for a really long time. But then I remembered I could go and buy healing items, so I did that instead.
You goofball.
So then it was much easier, and at the end of the fight, she gets a letter from the ruined spiders who say that I'm a good friend, and so she lets me go.
Yeah, if you had a spider donut or cider and you ate that at the start of the fight, Muffet would be like, "Oh my gosh, you did donate to our bake sale. I guess I won't fight you after all."
Yeah,
I
did not have that
spider donut by that point because I had already long since used them.
And also, you wouldn't get to hear that awesome music. It's so good. That's also one of my favorite songs.
I wrote my notes at the beginning. I was like, I'm going to end up cutting this entire episode with music tracks.
So then the game enters on an extremely elaborate just riff on FF6. And like, it's just weird because
beat by beat riff on
it's just
FF6.
Weird because again, like, this game is very clearly inspired by things, but this is the only point where it is like, we're going to literally directly reference a specific other work of art in a major way. And that, and I think that speaks to how strongly, I think that speaks to the place that Final Fantasy VI has in people's hearts, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because this game is clearly so inspired by Homestuck, but it doesn't literally reference Homestuck. It's so inspired by Earthbound and Mother 3, but it doesn't, like, directly reference Mother 3. But then here, you've got the FF6 thing, and it's like, like, FF6 is a part of everybody's soul because of how much we love it, and that's why we're going to spend a shockingly long amount of time being FF6 in this game. And it's great.
It's amazing.
I can't imagine you playing this game and not having played FF6, and you're like, what is happening, and why is it happening?
Yeah, I am glad that I played Final Fantasy VI, and that also it's my favorite Final Fantasy.
Yeah. So it's just, I feel like the whole Metaton thing is like, Toby Fox is like, I've got this serious game, like it's a funny game, but it's also got a lot of serious things to say. But I've also got a lot of really dumb, goofy game design ideas that I want to put. So he just put all of it in Hotland.
Yeah.
Hotland is where every single thing gets thrown into the game that I feel like maybe Toby Fox couldn't find a way to put it somewhere else in the game without ruining the mood. So he's just like, fuck it, Metaton's just gonna do a bunch of dumb shit, including being FF6.
Yep.
And like I didn't mention it, but there's the main puzzles in Hotland are like hard sliding block, but also sort of Galaga puzzles, and it's so bizarrely just like a hodgepodge of things put together, and it's great. So the opera is about how the Monster King wants to put me in a dungeon, but then in the next thing he pulls a dastardly plot, as I put it. It makes me follow the stupid color maze thing that follows the same rules that Papyrus had like a bajillion rooms ago.
And if you remember the machine that Papyrus was using, it was Metaton.
Oh my freak!
Oh,
Yep.
I think I would have noticed that second time around, but I didn't.
I didn't
fair,
even.
Metaton
That's
just
amazing.
looks like a computer, so it's not the most distinctive name. Look, sorry, Metaton.
But so he's about to tell you the rules. He's like, but you've seen this before, so just remember it from when you did it before. You have 30 seconds. Good luck. And I don't know if the maze is RNG or if it's always unsolvable, but like
I think it's always unsolvable.
It is not unsolvable. You can actually get through it. Yep.
Always?
Jesus Christ.
You can always, it's always the same pattern, and you can always get through it.
Oh, wow, because I definitely distinctly remembered my first time playing the game being like, I think I remember the rules of this well enough to know that I actually can't get through this.
You have to memorize the path. So, like, you can find images that people have, like, mapped out the path of this Hotland puzzle. If you follow that path precisely, you can get through it. But it's super hard unless you already know what you're doing.
Because, I'm a pretty clever guy, so I thought my thought that it was actually impossible. I'm glad to know that it was at least really hard.
It's,
If it was fucking easy, I'd be like, ah, damn, I'm stupid.
Yeah, because, like, the second block I stepped on bounced me in a direction that then it would bounce me in the opposite direction.
Yeah, you can get stuck in those loops. That's why you have to follow the exact path.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. So, Alphys hacks in and saves you, and but then you have to fight Metaton. So Alphys hacks in and saves you again. I shot bullets as a spaceship heart, and I didn't know if that would count as being a pacifist. Turns out that it does.
Yeah, it's fine.
You're only not a pacifist if you hit somebody with a weapon. If you shoot them, then you're still a pacifist. It's fine.
So you can still hit someone with pacifist. You just have to not delete the
just don't kill
them.
Yeah. But
which is kind of how I feel about my own personal pacifism. I think that violence that does not result in someone dying is fine, basically, and often very necessary.
Go punch Nazis, kids.
Yeah, just don't murder them.
Yeah,
just don't murder a Nazi. So, as an aside, in a time where we don't have a lot of asides, I've been rereading Death Note, and I remember reading Death Note before, and like at a climactic moment towards the end, I'm like, oh my god, Light has gone evil. He's irredeemable at this point. But rereading it as a grown up, I'm like, he was irredeemable on page 1, where he's like, I'm going to kill somebody with this Death Note.
Exactly.
From the beginning.
But it was just so crazy to me how vastly different my worldview at 16 and at 20 was. So in the next area, Sans invites you out to dinner again, and he talks about the door at the very beginning and how he used to tell it knock jokes, and turns out he was talking with Turiel. And she asked Sans to protect any human that came through that door, so he didn't kill me and instead protected you from Papyrus, which it floored me because she was my grandmother, but it floored me even more. It would have floored me even more if I had killed her and you, I
Yeah.
feel you would still
What
have
he
this
says here
scene,
is
and you
he's
just be like,
what he says is basically he's just like, yeah, I would. The person on the side of the door would tell him knock jokes, but she hasn't answered for a while,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Oh God, what have I done? I'm a monster.
yeah. In the pacifist ending, it's because she collapsed that part of the tunnel, but in the not pacifist ending, it's because she killed her.
oh, he says that either way. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so you come to a hotel that has an elevator to the city, but it isn't working, and there's like a queue of like 15 people waiting for that elevator. And but then there's a door to the core whose elevator also isn't working, but so you just have to climb it the old-fashioned way. And when you're climbing, I said the castle. I don't vaguely remember that it is a castle.
It is
but
not a
anyway,
castle yet.
It is not a castle. So, so you're when you're climbing it, you find Metaton, and he tells you that Alphys has been faking all of the puzzles and hardships so that she could be involved in your quest because she'd been watching for so long and had like fallen for me or something. And Metaton actually hates fighting and just wants to entertain. And what's more entertaining than real drama, real action, real bloodshed?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's true or not. It might come out in the True Pacifist ending if that's true or not. But it really made me like, oh shit, at the moment. Because I was like, she has literally given you the answers or saved you from everything.
I
just
thought
to
it
be
became
your
clear
person.
pretty early on. Honestly,
I will
it's
explain
like,
that.
No, she's clearly just trying to she's living vicariously through me. Like I don't know. I thought it was clear before he explained it. what was really going on.
It didn't occur to me the first time.
You're caught up in her web, and she's like, don't get me wrong, she's a sweetie, but she's also definitely kind of manipulating you because she wants to have some excitement in her life.
Yeah. So you fight Metaton, and it turns out that he's invulnerable, but thankfully has an invulnerability switch on his back. So you just convince him to turn around, and you turn him into a Robo Goblin King.
He's awesome.
He's hot.
He's hot.
That's what I thought the first time I played it. Since what I thought the second time I played it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Metaton is a sexy robot man, and I love him.
Yeah, and so he's pretty hard. I think I died one or two
hard,
times,
all right.
but
he is made of metal.
If you get his ratings all the way up to 10,000, which what I did was just brag that he wanted hit me, and that would give me ratings until like he would hit me, but I still would have a net positive. And then only on the turns where I thought I was going to die would I do the one that actually gave me a buff or whatever.
Yeah.
But so
it's a tough fight.
Yeah, it's really tough. So at the end, he runs out of batteries, but after I've shot him a whole lot and knocked off all of his arms and stuff, and I was like, this really doesn't feel like a true pacifist.
Trust me, it's fine. It's fine.
But when the ratings hit 10,000, he takes a caller who says that they love him, and it makes him happy, so he doesn't want to fight anymore. On the way out, Alphys says that to get through the barrier, I have to kill Asgore, as it requires a monster soul. I can't do it by not killing him.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get to the castle, and it's just Tyrael's house, but in gray instead of in orange.
And this is where it gets real.
This is where everybody cries.
The music that plays here is a lot.
It's the main theme of the game, first off, along with the music box that played for that puzzle in Waterfall.
Sorry, the other music. So there's another little guitar song that plays later. That doesn't play here yet, does it? The guitar song that isn't the main theme of the game.
No, this is. I mean, it is. It is.
Yeah.
It's the light. It's the same leitmotif.
No, but there's a second guitar song later that isn't. It's actually not that motif at all. right? Plays a little bit later.
I don't know.
I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
I remember
Okay,
enjoying
this is where
it
I
in
have
the
to
moment,
admit
but I
that
can't
I didn't
call back
actually
to
get
it.
this far. I played the entire game before, but this time around I was very sleepy. So anyway,
We might be thinking of the same song, but
yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Who knows? I'll put both of them in. And
This is the
if
part
there's
where I
two.
started doing a combination of playing the game and watching a Let's Play because I'd already played the game before.
Yeah.
So yeah.
fair enough.
So, so you make your way through Totally Not Tyrael's house, and you find keys to take you down into what used to be the way out of the ruins, and now it's the way to like the throne room and stuff. But as you're going through, you get in a lot of fights. But instead of the fights, the monsters just tell you the story of when a human fell down to the underworld, and he called out for Azrael, who is the king's son, who took care of the human. The human asked to see the flowers from his hometown before he died, but Azrael couldn't do that. So Azrael, racked with grief, absorbed the human's soul and transformed into a being with incredible power. With the human soul, Azrael crossed through the barrier and went back to the village of humans. When he reached the center of the village, he found a bed of golden flowers, carried the human into it. But all of the villagers saw this big scary monster holding a human's body, so they thought that he had killed the child, and the humans attacked him with everything they had, and he had the power to destroy them, but he did not fight back. Instead, he took the child, smiled, and walked away. So he stumbled home, where he collapsed and his dust spread out across the garden. The kingdom fell into to despair. The king and queen had lost 2 children in one night, all because of the humans. So the king decided that every human who comes down here must die. So with enough souls, he can destroy the barrier forever. And then all the monsters start like freaky saying like, it's not long now, King Asgore will let us go, he'll give us hope, he'll save us, you should be smiling too, aren't you excited, aren't you happy, you're going to be free. Which is really freaky when all of them just said, we're going to have to kill you, but it's exciting, you're going to be free.
Yeah.
Is like rough.
Oh, there's so many feels throughout this. Like
you guys can't see my notes, but I couldn't take notes. I just screenshot word for word what everybody said, because I couldn't have my own words.
I think,
at that
so
point.
fucking-
I
I think an interesting subtle thing here that maybe is mentioned if you get the fucking true ending or whatever is that if all the monsters did really break out, they would just get wrecked. Because the game makes very clear that monsters are weak and humans are strong.
Yeah.
So even if the monsters got out of the barrier and went to fight the humans, there would just be a second human-monster war, and the humans would kill all the monsters. And I think that is a cute little, low-key, like, sad aspect of the game's story. Because if that wasn't the case, one part of this game I kind of wish I was like, can't you just let Asgore kill you, and that's the ending, is that the monsters get what they want? But as far as I can tell, you can't do that.
No, it sends you to a game over screen because I died on it.
Oh, no, but I mean, as far as I can tell, there's also not some secret way to do it. Because I tried.
Yeah. So at the end of that corridor, you reach a super pretty cathedral room with like foreground parallax, which is like my favorite shit.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And so then you see a shadow that looks like Sans but talks in normal font, but that's just the game trying to hide the fact that it's Sans, but it's literally obviously Sans. So he says he'll judge me on your execution points, so your EXP, or your level of violence.
Your love.
It goes level or your LV or love or level of violence.
Yeah.
But I never gained any execution points or any level of violence. But if you don't fight Asgore, he'll just kill you and destroy humanity. But if you do fight Asgore, the monsters will remain sad and underground forever. And so you head into the throne room, and the king is there, and he's the same sort of monster as Tyrael. And there was something before that talked about the queen always making butterscotch pies. So Tyrael was the queen?
Tyrael was the queen of the underground. She was Asgore's partner.
Yeah. And she decided to not let him do what he wanted, so that's why she's in the ruins.
That's why she was always saying protect the humans.
Yeah.
It's good. it's good, and that's not on screen ever. That's like the best kind of storytelling for me. But so he's really, really cordial, seems to not want to actually kill you. And a lot of the rooms are like the puzzle rooms from the ruins, just without puzzles in them. And that shit's really good.
Yeah.
So this is when I realized that the true pacifist ending couldn't be done in one go.
Yeah.
Because I had to fight him, and I'm like, but in the fight, he destroys your mercy button.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I thought, because I'm bad at this game, and the Turiel fight is a little unfair, so I thought, okay, this is the same thing. I'm supposed to just survive long enough till Toriel comes to me and saves me with the fireball, which is what she said she would do at the beginning of the game. I know the game is like crazy like that, so that's what it's going to be. Mm-hmm. So I tried to survive this fight and not fight him for forever, because in the fight with Toriel, you keep trying to spare her, and it says, that's not working. The only thing left to do is fight. So in this game, it goes, that's not working. The only thing left to do is fight. Mm-hmm. I really thought that you weren't supposed to kill him, but you literally can't win unless you kill him.
So this is the second part, which I think the game cheats annoyingly. But on the other hand, it's also me being stubborn, and not being able to take a hint, just like Sam. The game very clearly says you have to fight. Look, we literally killed the UI button that is not fight. You have to fight. You have to fight. You have to fight. But instead of taking a hint, I was like, okay, but do I really have to fight? So I now I had killed Toriel my first time through. That was my only kill, by the way. Okay. I did pacifist except Toriel. And so, but I spent so long on this. I would do shit like if you die and start the game over, not start the game over, but load your save file, some things actually do change. Yes. I forget what exactly, but like some colors change somewhere in like the room before you fight him. So I was like, is this a meta thing? If I die 7 times, because there's 7 souls, will something different happen? If I die 20 times, will something different happen? Every time I tried, I said, okay, what if I hit talk 3 times and then I hit item? What if I use item? What if I defend? I must have been on this shit for an hour or 2 at least. Because again, I'm like, because I'd already heard that it was possible to play this game without killing anybody.
Yeah.
So I didn't take the game's very obvious hint.
Yeah.
But then what annoys me is there is a way to play this game without killing anybody. There is a way to win this fight without killing. You just do fight, and then when you win the fight at the end,
your mercy button,
it gives you the option to not kill him.
Yeah,
but that's like that shit's cheating. Like if I'm gonna, you shouldn't make me have to actually kill him and then say, oh, never mind, you cannot kill him.
Yeah.
Right? Although
it's a twist.
You could say
no,
it's almost
a lie
like the game
is not a twist. Like
you could
Bob's
say it's
Burgers.
almost like you could say it's almost like the game is being merciful to me. Like I thought I was gonna have to actually kill him this time, but then the game allowed me to not have to do that, which is nice. But I don't know. Now how would I have designed this fight differently? Who fucking knows? I don't know the answer to that question. It's a very, very, very difficult thing to do, and I probably couldn't have thought of a better solution.
Couple fun facts. Couple fun facts about this fight. If you talk to him enough, it'll lower his defense and his attack. Mm-hmm. And if you eat the butterscotch pie in front of him, it will also lower his defense and attack.
Oh, cool. Yes, that's the shit that I was trying to figure out. But I thought maybe one of the things would let me not have to fight.
No. You still have to fucking fight him.
That is interesting that there is actually one point where you do have to actually fight. It's kind of like Metal Gear Solid 3, actually. Which you can play the entire game not killing anybody, except you have to kill the final boss.
Okay.
Even if you kill no one else the entire game, and that's a very big deal because the main character does not want to kill the final boss, but he has to because of his mission.
Anywho,
so
that's not a spoiler. That's the main purpose of the game.
So you spare him, and you say you'll stay in the monster world with him. He says that we'll live with his wife and eat butterscotch pie. So. Like, that's the happiest ending for me, is like you do go back, realize to stay, and you do live with Toriel, and that's super duper awesome. But then, of course, Flowey shows up to fight you, and then some Doki Doki Literature Club shit happens, and Flowey crashes my game and takes my save file over.
Hold on, you missed one thing. Flowey kills Asgore.
Oh, yeah. Flowey comes in and destroys Asgore. So
after this emotional scene where you show Asgore mercy, and he is blown away by your mercy, then he gets killed by Flowey, which is like, I was like, fuck you! Like, he gets so mad at Flowey.
Fuck
like,
you,
holy
fucking
shit.
Flower, I hate you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
wait.
Yeah, so I literally thought that my game had crashed when that that happened. Like it got me. Like I have not played but like experienced Doki Doki Literature Club enough to know that like games can do this. It's just a program on your computer. It's easy to type a break command or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's like no big deal, but it still like threw me for a fucking loop because your game just disappears off your
This
screen.
is the first
Like,
game I had played where it did stuff like this.
This part doesn't work as well on Vita.
Oh, what does it do?
The game
on
just
Vita?
resets, which is nice,
resets.
but it wouldn't. But it's not as good as if the application had just closed.
I
right?
believe it does give an application is closed error on the PS4. If I recall from when I played it.
I guess the Vita UI works differently.
Yeah, maybe.
Which makes sense.
But
I mean, you can only do so much.
Yeah, so the game crashes, and it was late, and I thankfully I had known about Doki Doki Literature Club and things like it to try it one more time because it was super late and I was ready to go to bed, and I probably would have just been if in my mind I was like, I'm going to have to go and do that fucking Asgore fight again, and it's super hard and I don't want to do it, but maybe it's some shenanigans, and thank God it was shenanigans.
It was super shenanigans.
Right on time. Hey, Scarlett, you want to say hi?
If you want to smell the poop.
You want to say hi, Poopy? Poo. Say hi. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Say hi.
Hi, Scarlett.
Oh.
Yay.
Yeah, go change your poo-poo.
Yeah,
You stinky little baby.
Boy.
So
I think at this point we can probably skip real quick because I know that Eli wants to talk about other stuff. So like a bunch of crazy graphics happen, right? And it's crazy.
Bunch of super crazy graphics. Flowey like destroys the save screen and stuff like that.
He's literally called Photoshop
duper.
Flowey at this point.
Yeah.
Like
he has gone into your computer and has like mishmashed your graphics into this horrible abomination.
Yeah. So it's nuts, but
Yeah.
plot-wise, like it's just crazy and weird. And then
you fight him. The only cool like subtle plot thing is he tries to use his new powers that he got from Asgore of Asgore's soul and the 6 human souls against you, but you just ask the human souls for help and they will help you and give you healing, and then if you ask all 6 of them for help, they will take down Flowey for you, and it's pretty dope.
It's great.
But so blah 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 blah. He after I kill him, he asks me to kill him, and I don't. He says, "Okay, well, I'll kill you and your family and everyone you love." So kill me.
He's an internet
and
troll.
I still spare him. And he's like, "Okay, well, fine." And so he runs away, and the credits roll. After the credits, Sans will call you on your phone and tell you which ending you unlocked, depending on if you took certain characters on dates, if you did certain things, if you etc. And then afterwards, Flowey shows up and is like, "You thought this game was fucking over? There's a lot more content. Go back and here's a hint, like a detailed hint on what you need to do to go and do it," which is super cool.
So if you get neutral, he's like, you think you're such a pacifist? Well, how come you didn't kill literally nobody? And I'm like, fuck you, I only killed Toriel because it cheated. But then he basically hints you should try killing. He doesn't believe in pacifism. He thinks pacifism is stupid, but he's like, if you think pacifism's so cool, why don't you try to actually do it? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And so this is not the real ending of the game. I put in my notes, it's like the real ending is the friends you made along the way. Which,
it's true.
Having looked up the true pacifist ending, literally the true pacifist ending is the friends you made along the way. So go and talk to your friends. But so we might follow up on more stuff later. But we skipped over like all of our favorite jokes, and we skipped over like all of the joy that is this game. And there's like 50 endings for you to get all in all.
So good.
So
I do.
You should go and play this game. Like Essie, I know you listen and you never play. Stop what you're doing. Go and play.
Go fucking play
this
Undertale.
game. It's so good.
A single playthrough is literally like 6 hours.
Yeah, like after this ending where we're stopping is another like 3 to 4 hours of content, depending on how much you got done in your normal playthrough. So there's still a lot of stuff that you could go and do, and you should definitely
There's
it.
2 other characters to date aside from Papyrus and that mini date with Sans. Actually, Sans got 2 dates.
Yeah. He's my real boy. He got a second date.
2 rides. Whoa, those are cute shoes.
I love you, Spiff. So there's
Yeah, you're not dressed. Mommy will get
it's
you dressed.
Scarlet Cast, guys.
Sorry,
That's okay.
it always is.
There's my favorite part of the game is also in the True Pacifist ending, past where you've beaten Flowey. You go on a date with Alphys, and she actually confesses that she has feelings for Undyne, which you can kind of get glimpses of throughout the game.
It's hinted at.
Yeah. And during the date, Undyne shows up and confesses that she has feelings for Alphys as well, and that, she's going to help Alphys become her best self. And Alphys is like, "You're going to train me?" And Alphys says, "No, he is." And Papyrus, slowly, comes up from the bottom of the screen wearing a shirt that says Jog Boy.
Oh my god.
And
so he has 3 shirts.
Yes. So he
has Cool Dude and Jock Boy.
Yes. So he goes off with her for training. You find a letter in front of the lab that says, I did a lot of terrible things. If you wanna see some of the shit that went down, go through the door over here. And it's the door that was supposedly the bathroom before. So you go through that door and you get into an elevator, and the elevator crashes. And then you end up in the True Lab. And the True Lab is the Halloween part of this game.
See, this is the part where once again I played the game 1.8 times, and I skipped because I wanted to see the pacifist ending, but then I realized there was 90 more minutes of shit, and I was scrubbing through it, and I was seeing this stuff, and I was like, oh, so there's a whole plot dump of plot twisty exposition in the pacifist. That's not even true pacifist. That's just regular pacifist. You get this scene, actually. I think.
No, this is True Pacifist.
That's True Pacifist.
Okay,
what we covered today was just the Neutral Pacifist.
Gotcha,
this is True Pacifist. You go through
then I feel better now. I feel better. Here's the thing. I was watching a Let's Play that said it didn't say True Pacifist. It just said Pacifist. So I was like, oh, wow, this shit's all just the pacifist ending? Now I understand.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Yeah,
we're good.
yeah.
We're awesome.
Yeah, no.
I'm glad to know that.
Yeah, so you go through this True Lab and you find out about Alphys or whoever was down there, because you can't really tell from the text on the screens that pop up. You find out about experiments with soul, and that they were trying to find a way to make a monster soul immortal like a human soul. In the process, they fucked up a bunch of dying monsters. These monsters had been brought to the lab specifically because they were near death. They were going to die anyway and turn to dust. So Alphys experimented with determination, which is specifically a human trait, and determination can be made manifest into some sort of form that can be injected into these dying monsters. It will prolong their lives, but it makes them melt. So
that's horrible.
Yeah, it's fucking terrifying. It's the most Halloween-y part of this game. And it's great. I fucking love it. You run into all these gross, melty abominations that try to kill you. One of them is there was a mob in Snowden Forest called Snowdrake.
I remember that one.
There's another melty monster that is Snowdrake's mother. And you can tell jokes to her. And it's really sad. So you find out about the origins of the golden flowers, or rather about an attempt to inject an inanimate object with determination, and it was used on a golden flower. And this golden flower gained sentience, and she took it. She didn't know about that part, but she took it back to Asgore's garden and left it there. And then the final entry is the flower is gone.
That's really good.
You also
That's really good.
That's good.
You also find in there a set of videotapes that they're all black screen. Like they explain it. They're like, "Oh, haha, I left the lens cap on." And,
So it's just text.
yeah, it's just text.
That's really fucking funny.
Yeah, and it's Asriel, and Asriel is talking to whatever you named your character. So for Sam, Asriel is talking to Bash, and it is like they're, Bash, do the creepy face again. Ooh, it's so scary. And so you watch these videotapes, and then you see like, Asriel and Bash, or whatever you named your character, they're talking and saying, we have to release everyone. We'll just have to get 6 more souls. Are you sure you really want to go through with this? And then in the last tape, the character is sick, and everybody is Toriel, Asgore, and Asriel are all like, I really don't want to do this. I want you to get better, but we have to free everyone. And it's really heartbreaking. But it gives you more insight into the story. And then you get out of the True Lab, and you get a call from Papyrus that you are to. Oh, you're supposed to meet him, and I apologize because I haven't played the true final ending in a while.
But if you don't remember it, we can just leave
Yeah.
This is cool.
You're told to meet up with him somewhere, and then some shit goes down.
Here's a question I want to ask, and this is a spoiler, but I still want to ask anyway. The actual true for realsies pacifist ending, is it a happy ending?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
It is absolutely a happy ending.
I'm just like, fuck it, why would I play this game again?
It's a little on the bittersweet side, but
because here's the thing, I think that the actual regular either neutral or pacifist ending, it's kind of sad because like the monsters still have to stay underground, but I don't think it's that sad of an ending. I think it is an okay, sweet ending, So if it turned out the true pacifist ending is like shit gets fucked up and I'm gonna feel terrible, why would I even fucking play that?
It's a little bit on the bittersweet side, but
that's
I
fine,
think
but
it
is
works
like in
really,
general,
really well.
It works out okay for everybody.
Yes, it works out okay for 90%
Most
of
people.
the cast. Yeah.
Good.
Real quick rundown of genocide. You kill literally everything. You feel horrible about it, and then Sans murders you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've heard that the Sans fight is a rough part of that game.
So there are 2 whole boss fights in genocide, because with everyone else, so like the more determination, the more hatred that a human soul has, the stronger it gets.
Yeah.
And that's where the experience points, the execution points, and the level of violence come in. You one-shot everyone except for 2 bosses, Undyne and Sans. Undyne actually is the only monster who has any determination naturally. And she actually will start to melt partway through the fight.
Oh, wow.
Oh, damn.
So she must have been experimented on then, which is why she's different than all the other monsters. That's why she has kind of that level of drive and violence.
She either was experimented on to some extent, or she just is so determined herself, like she has manifested her own version of determination.
Right, despite being a monster. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm actually glad that you kill that Sans kills you, because I'd seen a little bit of spoilers that's the ending of the genocide run, and I was like, no fucking way am I killing Sans.
You can actually kill Sans, but that fight is fucking hard, and I have tried it.
It was literally impossible to kill him, and he just kills you. Let's put it this way, I'm way more okay with being killed by Sans.
Yeah. Yeah.
You kill Sans. That's way too
it's not literally
grueling.
impossible. You can actually do it. I can't because I suck.
But if he kills you, that is basically like the ending. Like that's one of the ways that it ends.
Like
is he kills you.
At this point, I mean, well, no, you can do it as many times as you want because you have the ability to go back in time and restart a save.
Right, but like it's not just game over though. Like that's actually
right.
Okay, cool.
Well, I mean, not entirely,
Whatever,
because you just go back to last save. But anyway, yeah, it's weird. But anyway, yeah, I at this point I've decided that Sans has beaten the game. He's the one who won. I'm not gonna even try again because
Yeah, you're like, for me, that's the ending of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a legit way to go. But yeah, it's all worth looking at. The genocide run is actually worth doing if you can stomach it, because it gives you I know, it gives you way more insight. When you're going through Asgore's palace in the pacifist run, you get all the monsters coming and telling you the story. In the genocide run, there's no monsters left. So Flowey comes, and Flowey tells you his story. And it's...
So Eli, I want to ask you a question. I've heard something, and I want to know if you agree with it, and if you don't, please tell us what is the correct opinion.
Sure.
That if you've never played this game before, and you feel like you have the time, you feel like you like the game, you feel like you're probably going to want 100% it, see everything, because you're already you're interested. I've heard that a good thing to do is do a neutral playthrough, and then a genocide, and then a true pacifist.
I disagree.
Yeah?
I say neutral pacifist genocide.
Okay.
Because you get a lot of information in the genocide run that is related to stuff that you learn in the pacifist run that maybe would not make sense by itself in genocide.
Okay, so maybe neutral, pacifist, then genocide, but then pacifist again so you don't feel bad.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, you do pacifist
and
again.
also because to get the true pacifist ending, you can't load your save anymore. So if you go or if you go to do the reset, it's a true reset because it'll reset all of the how like Flowey knew.
Correct.
You had reset before. It'll reset all of that data as well. So the only way to get a genocide after a true pacifist is to do a true reset on everything, which will take away everyone's happy endings, which will make, before you even start it, make you feel bad.
Yep.
and
then you have to kill them.
And you can do, you can do genocide on a fresh run.
You could start
absolutely. You can just go straight genocide if you want.
Right.
If you don't want to get yourself invested in the characters
genocide,
before...
you say.
Yeah.
Wow, I heard this game with SJW, but that's a bit much. Straight genocide.
Yeah, if you don't want to get yourself invested in the characters first, which, for some people that might actually be a good route to take.
Yeah, kill them before you love them.
But if you beat genocide, it changes the true ending very, very slightly.
Interesting.
Yes.
Huh.
Ooh.
Everything affects everything in this game, and it's amazing.
Once again, it's like, by the way, we know you already did a genocide run.
Yep. Yeah, you can reset it so that it doesn't do that, but
that's
not the spirit of
that's
the
one
game.
reason I feel like this game is the future of games in some ways. And I'm not saying this game is the first game to do this at all. I mean, many games have done this, but this game does it so well. It's like, wouldn't you rather play a relatively short game that just has so many variables and goes deeper and deeper and deeper and is so reactive and so rich than a bazillion hour long game that doesn't have that? Like the fact that this game is relatively short is what allows everything to affect everything in ways that you would just have never expected. Like one person can program that shit. Like for example, the whole you sitting there for 10 minutes waiting for Toriel to come back, that probably took 2 fucking seconds to program. You just say, if timer greater than 10 minutes, display text box. That's not that hard. But only a smaller scale project like this can have that level of depth. And it's just like, I feel like that's what I want I honestly think that just like, I love sinking 100 hours of my life into fucking Assassin's Creed bullshit or whatever. On some level, I like doing that, but I would much rather play a 1 hour game that has this level of richness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorites that does that is the Stanley Parable.
I love the Stanley Parable.
To completion the first time, and it takes 5 minutes. But if you only play it till you see the credits the first time, you're not playing the fucking Stanley Parable.
Yeah.
And I just love that. And I feel like the indie game scene has largely gotten the memo because a lot of games do this. But like, imagine a game with the fucking budget of Assassin's Creed Odyssey that was a 5 or 10 hour long game that was like this, that had this level of depth to it.
Yeah.
Think of what a big budget game could do with that concept. It'd be insane, and it's crazy that no one's done it.
Yeah.
Kojima, if you're listening, you're the guy. You can do it.
We believe in you.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Plus
But right. I have no idea if that game's going to be any good or if
No, it's
that's
gonna
going to
be
be him
incredible.
jumping the shark.
It's going to be so good. As a huge Metal Gear fan
Like,
who knows
I-
what the
I
themes
go
of the Metal
back
Gear
and
series
forth
are, I can
between-
already basically figure out what the main themes of this game are, and I love it.
Yeah,
I
I
know
can-
what the game's basically going to be saying, I think, statement-wise, and I'm totally on board.
Yeah, I go back and forth between this will be a revolution in gaming and this is going to be the weirdest
Oh, I don't think it's going to be a
bullshit.
revolution in gaming. I think it's going to come out and most people are going to be like, okay. And I'm going to be like,
This is a
amazing.
revolutionary game.
Yeah, I'm going to be like, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that pretty much wraps up what we want to, what we're allowing ourselves to talk about. Like, we could probably go for another 2 hours now, but if you're only listening, definitely go and play the game. Like, we gave plot spoilers, but we didn't give like feeling how it feels to play the game spoilers. Like, you're going to
You're gonna
get so much out of it, even if
Again, the radical thing about this game is its radical gentleness, and that is expressed through the plot, through the characters, through the writing, and through the mechanics, and through the music, and through the graphics. So when you play this game yourself, you'll be like, oh god.
Yeah.
It's great. It hurts so good.
Yeah, it's so
I
good.
can't play this game without crying.
Yeah. So go beat this game, see the neutral ending, do a true pacifist, do a genocide, send Timmy to college, do all the things.
Send Timmy to college.
This game deserves it, and I got it for $5. I think it's $20 on the Switch, so depending on how new of a port you get it for super cheap.
If
I
you
bought the
really trust
collector's
us
all
that it's
around.
this fucking good, and you're like, you know what, I'll just fucking do it, go buy the fucking physical version.
Yeah.
On Switch.
Yeah.
That's really
Buy
more
the
of a for
physical
fans
on
only
Switch.
thing,
I think the
but
Switch has
it's so
some
good,
extra
you're gonna want
content
it
of some
anyway.
sort.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you like what you heard today, it would be really cool to come and chat with us on Twitter at RPG Book Club, or on our Discord, has a link in the description, or just drop us a line at rpgbookclub@gmail.com. And for a special Spooktober RPG Book Club, I have been Sam's Undertale.
Oh, I've been the Great Papyrus, aka Sailor Eli.
I'm Michael Pumpkins. Any questions?
That's one of my favorite
Have a happy
skits.
Halloween,
Happy
folks.
Halloween!